My name is Emily Carter, and I'm 32 years old. What happened at my sister's wedding is still talked about in our business world. Imagine this: 200 people in a fancy ballroom. My mum's hand hitting my face so hard my pearl earring flew across the shiny floor. Why? I wouldn't give up the keys to my $2 million apartment during the wedding speeches, but nobody saw this coming. An hour later, the head of a huge investment company walked in, and my mum's scream was so loud it echoed 3 floors up. That man wasn't just any boss. He owned 40% of my dad's company. He had something important to say about what he saw on a live video. Before I tell you more, please like and subscribe if you enjoy stories about standing up for yourself. Where are you watching from? Share your city and time in the comments below. Let me take you back to that morning when I thought I was just going to my little sister's dream wedding. I got to the Grand View Hotel at 8 a.m., 3 hours before the ceremony started. The ballroom was beautiful, with white flowers and gold decorations everywhere, just like Lily had always wanted since we were kids. I gave $50,000 to make this day perfect for her, but nobody ever mentioned that. "Emily, finally," my mom said, looking at my outfit. "That dress, couldn't you pick something softer? You look like you're going to a work meeting, not your sister's wedding." I smoothed my dark blue silk dress. It was stylish, nice, and yes, something I might wear to work. "Good morning to you too, Mum," I said. "Lily looks so beautiful in her wedding dress," she went on, ignoring my hello. "She's a real bride. She's glowing." The comparison wasn't new. For 32 years, I was the daughter who was too driven, too free, too much like a boy in my choices. Lily was the perfect one, sweet, traditional, everything our parents wanted. "Emily, can you check the seating plan?" Dad called out. "But don't change everything like you always do." I held back my words. The seating was a mess, with divorced couples sitting together and business enemies at the same table. But saying that would just make me the troublemaker again. What they didn't know, what I never told them, was that I wasn't just some regular worker at a random company. I was the vice president of growth at Carter Investments, leading our business in Asia and the Pacific. But in this family, that success would somehow be another mistake, too focused on work, too independent, too much like the son they never had. "Of course, Dad," I said calmly. "I'll make sure everything's perfect for Lily." "Family comes first, Emily," Dad said, standing next to me as I fixed a tilted flower arrangement. "You'll get that when you have your own family, if you ever settle down." The comment was small but sharp. At 32, being single was apparently a bigger failure than any job success. "Robert, stop it," Aunt Linda said. But her voice sounded more amused than supportive. "Not everyone finds love as young as Lily did." I focused on the flowers, letting their words pass over me. Around us, relatives whispered, "Still no ring on Emily's finger. All that time in the city, you'd think she'd have met someone. Poor Susan. At least she has Lily, who'll give her grandkids soon." My cousin Jake grinned from across the room. "Hey, Emily, maybe if you spent less time in offices and more time in normal places, you'd have a date today." The relatives laughed. I wanted to tell them about the 3 guys I dated this year who couldn't handle me being more successful than them. I wanted to say being single was my choice, not a failure. But why bother? "She's just very choosy," Mom said to anyone listening. "Always been too picky." I fixed another flower arrangement, my hands steady even though their words hurt. They didn't know the real me, and maybe that was okay. "So, Emily," Aunt Mary said during the pre-wedding chatter, "how's that little apartment in the city? It must be nice and cozy." "It's a penthouse, actually," I said quietly. The group laughed loudly. Mary wiped her eyes. "A penthouse? Oh, Emily, you and your big city dreams." "She likes to exaggerate," Lily added, walking over in her wedding dress. "Last year, She said she was getting a Tesla. Can you imagine? I did get a Tesla. It was parked outside, but I just smiled. Emily's always been a dreamer, Mom said, making ambition sound like a bad thing. Too much of a dreamer, really. Nothing wrong with a simple apartment, Uncle Ben said, talking down to me. Not everyone can afford fancy things, kiddo. My phone buzzed with a message from my building's front desk about a delivery to my 4,500 square foot penthouse on the 45th floor, with huge windows showing the whole city. I paid for it with cash after a big business deal in Singapore. I could have shown them pictures or the video tour I saved. I could have mentioned the magazine article about my home last month. But what would that prove? That I needed their approval? You're right, Uncle Ben, I said instead. There's no shame in living simply. Lily laughed her perfect, practiced laugh. See, Emily's finally being realistic. The irony was almost beautiful. Standing alone by the window, I looked at the city skyline where my penthouse stood above everything. 10 years. That's how long it took to go from a starting job to vice president. 10 years of long work weeks, late-night flights, and deals that made news in big business papers. That penthouse wasn't just a home, it was proof. Proof that the girl they ignored had succeeded. Proof I didn't need their approval, money, or connections. Every inch was paid for with my hard work. If I gave it to Lily, just handed over the keys like a party gift, what would that make me? The family's backup plan, the one who pays for their golden child's happiness. I thought about the nights I fell asleep at my desk, working on projects that earned millions for my company. The promotions I got while they planned Lily's engagement parties. The respect I earned in meeting rooms across 3 continents. None of that mattered here. To them, I was just Emily, too tough, too work-focused, too hard to deal with. If I gave in now, if I gave up the one thing that showed my freedom, I'd be proving everything they thought about my place in this family. My phone lit up with a picture from my assistant. The view from my penthouse that morning, with the sun rising over the city, light pouring through the huge windows. She wrote, "Your home is waiting for you, boss." Home. That's what it was. The one place where I wasn't someone's disappointing daughter or less important sister. Where I was just Emily Carter, who built something amazing all on her own. I couldn't give that up, not even for family peace. Our Lily, I heard Mum say to some guests, her voice loud across the ballroom. She's everything a mum could want. So kind, so caring. Did you know she helps at the children's hospital? And now she'll be a wonderful wife. The guests made approving sounds. Mum stood there, so proud, listing Lily's successes, her teaching degree, her perfect engagement, her volunteer work. She never mentioned me. I'd sent $50,000 to their bank 3 months ago when Dad said the wedding was getting pricey. I used my contacts to get Lily's wedding in a famous bridal magazine. I even got their honeymoon room upgraded with my hotel points. But I was invisible, like a ghost who only appeared when they needed something. What a lovely family, someone said. You must be so proud of your daughter. Oh, we are, Dad replied, his arm around Mum. Lily's made us so happy. Daughter, singular, like they only had one. I turned away, but then I heard it. Dad's voice got quiet, but not quiet enough. After the toast, he whispered to Mom, "We'll announce the penthouse." "Are you sure Emily will agree?" Mom whispered back. "She won't have a choice. Not in front of everyone. She's too proud to make a scene at her sister's wedding." My heart went cold. They'd planned this. It wasn't a kind gesture. It was a trap to pressure me with everyone watching. "Besides," Mom added, "what does she need a penthouse for? It's not like she has a family to fill it." The mean words took my breath away, but they also made things clear. I wasn't going to play their game. If you've ever felt unseen in your family, Like your successes don't count unless they fit their story. Right, I see you in the comments. I see you, and your wins matter, even if they don't notice. What's coming next is when everything changed, when private family issues became a public embarrassment. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories about setting limits and choosing self-respect over family approval. Also, tell me where you're watching from. I love connecting with people who know the toughest fights are often with those who should support us most. The reception was lively when Dad stood up, tapping his champagne glass with a spoon. The music stopped. All 200 guests looked at him. "Before we keep celebrating," he began, his voice loud through the microphone, "Susan and I want to give Lily and Tom a special gift." My stomach sank. They were really doing this. "As you know, family is everything to us," Dad went on, smiling at the crowd. "And we'd do anything for our children's happiness." Children, plural. But his eyes were on Lily. "That's why we're so happy to say that Emily has kindly agreed to give Lily her city penthouse as a wedding gift." The room burst into clapping. Lily put her hands on her chest, acting surprised, but her small smile told me she knew all along. Tom put his arm around her, grinning. "Oh my gosh, Emily," Lily said into her microphone. "Are you serious?" The penthouse? Everyone looked at me. I stood still, holding my champagne glass, my mind racing. They'd planned this perfectly. The announcement, Lily's reaction, the public setting that made saying no seem awful. "Emily, come up here," Dad called, waving me forward. "Let's have the whole family together for this moment." The clapping went on. People smiled, nodded. Some even wiped tears at this sweet gesture. I saw my boss's wife at table 12, 3 big clients at table 8. My whole work network was in the room, watching, expecting me to smile and act like the generous sister. This wasn't just a trap. It was an attack on my freedom. I put down my glass and stood slowly. The room got quiet, waiting. "I'm sorry, what?" I said clearly, without a microphone. Dad's smile wavered. "Your penthouse, sweetheart." For Lily and Tom. "This wasn't discussed with me," I said, keeping my voice calm and professional. Whispers spread through the room. Dad's face turned red. "Don't be selfish on your sister's day," he said into the microphone, making sure everyone heard. "Dad, this isn't right. We can talk about this privately." "There's nothing to talk about," Mom said, grabbing the microphone. "It's a wedding gift from the family." "It's my property," I said simply, "and I haven't agreed to anything." The whispers got louder. I heard bits. "How could she? On her sister's wedding day? So selfish." Lily's eyes filled with perfect tears. "Emily, I thought you wanted me to be happy." "Your happiness doesn't depend on my home, Lily. It's just a property." "It's just a property," Dad shouted. "You can buy another one." "Then you buy her one," I replied. Gasps filled the ballroom. Someone at table 3 grabbed their necklace in shock. The wedding photographer kept snapping pictures. "Emily, please," Tom said, trying to calm things. "We take great care of it." "I'm sure you would, but the penthouse isn't available." Mum's face turned bright purple. Dad looked like he might faint. Lily's sweet act was breaking, showing something meaner underneath. "Come on, Emily," Aunt Mary called out. "It's family." "You don't even have a family to fill it," Uncle Ben added. "Lily needs it more." "She's getting married, starting a life," someone else said. "What do you need all that space for?" The pressure came from everywhere, each comment piling on like bricks around me. "Be reasonable," Cousin Jake shouted. "Stop being so difficult." "It's not like you can't afford another place," Aunt Linda added, her voice dripping with sarcasm. They still didn't believe I was successful. They thought my penthouse was a lie or a lucky break. "That's kind of you to think," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "But my money isn't for public discussion." "Everything's about money with you." Mom spat into the microphone. Your sister's happiness should matter more than property. If Lily's happiness depends on taking what's mine, maybe we should think about that. More gasps. Someone booed. The photographer's flash lit up the scene. I kept my hands steady, no shaking, no tears. I'd faced tough business leaders and stood strong in high-stakes meetings. I wasn't going to break now, not in front of people who always put me down. The Penthouse is not available, I said again, each word firm and final. My phone buzzed in my purse. I pulled it out, needing a second to escape the angry stares. 3 missed calls from Alex and a text that made my heart race. Saw the live stream. On standby live stream. I looked around and saw Tom's younger brother's phone on table 6, streaming the whole reception on Facebook Live. The red live dot blinked like it was mocking me. How many people were watching this mess unfold? Another text from Alex. Your call. Say the word Alex Chen, my mentor, my boss, and the man who owned 40% of my dad's company. Dad didn't know his silent partner was also my CEO. We'd kept that secret for moments like this. Emily, put the phone away, Mom snapped. This is family time. Apparently it's also a public show, I said, pointing to the live stream. Tom's brother grabbed his phone quickly, but it was too late. Who knew how many people saw my parents trying to force me to give up my home? Wait for my signal, I texted Alex, then put my phone away. So dramatic, Lily sighed into the microphone, acting like the victim. All this fuss over a piece of property. I thought my sister loved me enough to help start my marriage, right? The crowd loved it, feeling sorry for poor Lily, rejected by her cold sister. But I noticed Dad checking his phone, his face getting paler with each look. The live stream was causing problems he didn't expect. Your wedding is trending, by the way, I told Lily quietly. Congratulations. Standing there, surrounded by judgment, I remembered something from 6 months ago. Alex had added a special rule to my Penthouse purchase agreement. Trust me, he'd said, checking the papers. You need protection from family pressure. I'd laughed it off then. My family was tough, not dangerous. But Alex, who built a huge company from nothing, knew better. If anyone tries to force you to give up your home, he'd explained, this rule kicks in. The company can step in to protect you and the property. The Penthouse was originally a company property given to me as part of my pay. The paperwork was perfect, but that rule, Clause 15.3, gave Carter Investments the power to act if someone tried to force me to give it up. It wasn't just about property, it was about protecting people like me from family who felt entitled to my success. Emily's always been stubborn, Dad was saying to the crowd, trying to smooth things over. But family comes first. She knows that family doesn't trick each other, I said quietly. But my voice carried. The room went silent again. Even the waiters stopped holding trays, watching this disaster. I thought about the papers in Alex's office safe, showing not just the Penthouse ownership, but the whole financial setup of Carter Investments. Those would surprise my dad if he knew his daughter was basically his business partner's right-hand person. Thank goodness for that clause Alex insisted on. Mom stormed down from the head table like an angry queen, her sparkly dress shining as she crossed the dance floor. She gripped the microphone tightly. Emily Carter, she boomed through the speakers, you will not ruin this day. You will not embarrass this family. I'm not the one making a scene, Mom. We raised you better than this, she said, now 3 feet away, a vein pulsing in her forehead. We gave you everything. You gave Lily everything, I corrected. I earned what I have. You ungrateful. She stopped herself, remembering the crowd, then said sweetly, Honey, just give your sister the keys. It's a small thing, no. The words stood between us like a wall. Mom's face showed shock, anger, then embarrassment. The ballroom held its breath. You will do this, she hissed, lowering the microphone for a moment. Or so help me. Or what? I asked, curious what she thought would work. She raised the microphone again. Everyone, my daughter seems to have forgotten what family means. Maybe you can remind her. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. Some called out support for Lily, but others got quiet, sensing this was wrong. Give your sister the keys, Mom whispered dangerously into the microphone. Now. No, you selfish, ungrateful girl, she exploded. After all we've done, all we've given up, you can't do this one thing? You're a disgrace to this family. She was close enough that I smelled her strong flower perfume, the same one from my childhood, close enough to see years of anger in her eyes. Then the slap came out of nowhere. Her hand hit my cheek so hard my head turned, the sound echoing through the ballroom's perfect speakers, made louder by the microphone. My pearl earring, a gift I bought myself after the Singapore deal, flew off, sailing through the air slowly before landing on the marble floor with a soft ping. All 200 guests gasped together. Then silence. Total, heavy silence. The kind that makes your ears buzz and your heart beat loud. I stood still, my cheeks stinging, feeling the heat spread. The photographer stopped taking pictures. The waiters froze. Even the kids at table 15 were quiet. Mom's hand stayed in the air, like she couldn't believe what she did. The microphone caught her heavy breathing. I saw everything in the mirrored walls. My red cheek, Mom's shocked face, Dad half standing, Lily with her hands over her mouth, maybe truly surprised. Tom's brother had his phone up again, recording it all. My earring lay on the marble, its pearls glowing under the chandelier light, maybe 10 feet away. It was small, but it felt like the most important thing in the room. I didn't move, didn't speak, didn't touch my cheek. I just stood there, letting the silence speak for me. Slowly, I walked to my earring, my heels clicking in the quiet, each step loud in the ballroom. I bent down, picked it up, and put it back on carefully. It took maybe 30 seconds, but it felt like forever. I stood up, smoothed my dress, and looked at Mom. She'd lowered her hand, but still held the microphone, her face showing both defiance and fear. "Excuse me," I said, my voice calm. Then I turned to the head table. "Congratulations, Lily. I hope your marriage brings you joy." I grabbed my purse from my table and walked to the exit, not rushing, just walking steadily, like I do after work meetings. "Emily, wait," Dad called. I didn't stop or look back. Behind me, the ballroom exploded with noise, voices, chairs moving, someone crying, but I kept going. As soon as I left the ballroom, I called Alex. He answered right away. "Emily, green light," I said simply. "Understood. How long do I have?" "Give me 45 minutes to get home." "Are you okay?" I touched my stinging cheek. "Do the plan." "I meant, are you hurt?" "Nothing that won't heal," I said, stepping into the elevator. "But Alex, bring the shareholder agreement, the one Dad never read." "With pleasure," he said. I hung up as the elevator doors closed, leaving my family's mess behind. That moment, the slap heard by 200 people. Did it make you angry? I know what it's like to be hurt by those who should protect you. But sometimes, the best response isn't anger, it's smart action. What's next shows why you shouldn't underestimate someone pushed too far. If you believe in standing up for yourself, like this story, if you've ever had to set a firm limit with family, write boundaries in the comments. The next part is where everything changes, where the invisible daughter holds all the power. 45 minutes later, I was in my penthouse, holding an ice pack to my cheek, when Alex texted, "Entering the building now." I changed into jeans and a cozy sweater. I didn't need armor anymore. The fight was already won. They just didn't know it yet. My phone buzzed with notifications. Tom's brother's live stream had been shared over 500 times. The slap was already a meme. But I didn't care about online fame. I cared about what was happening in that ballroom. Alex texted again. Walking in, Robert just saw me. I could picture it perfectly. Alex Chen in his fancy $10,000 suit, striding into the ballroom with confidence. 2 lawyers beside him carrying briefcases. The same Alex Chen in big business magazines, the one my dad had been trying to meet for 6 months. Another text. His face just went pale. Your mom's screaming. I stood by my huge windows, looking at the city lights. Somewhere below in that ballroom, my family was learning about consequences. My phone rang, an unknown number. Hello, Emily, whispered Tom's brother. You need to see this. Your dad looks like he's going to faint. This guy in a suit said your name and something about business agreements. Your mom screamed when she saw him. Who is he? Someone who protects his investments, I said. Your dad keeps saying Mr. Chen. Is this the Chen? I have to go, I said, hanging up. The city glowed below, calm and unaware, but in that ballroom, a business empire was shifting. My phone rang again. Alex. You're on speaker, he said. I'm here with your parents and their guests. I heard the ballroom's stunned silence. Robert, Alex said with his commanding CEO voice, I need to clear something up for everyone. Emily Carter isn't just an employee at my company. She's our vice president of growth, leading our Asia-Pacific business. Gasps came through the phone. That's impossible, Dad said weakly. The Singapore deal that earned $40 million? Emily led that. The Tokyo office, our most successful branch. Emily built it from nothing. The Samsung partnership your company wanted? Emily handled every detail. You're lying, Mom said, her voice high and desperate. Mrs. Carter, your daughter, is one of the most important leaders in this city. The penthouse you tried to take was part of her pay package, which includes protections. What protections? Dad asked. The ones that start when someone tries to force her to give up company property, which, according to the live stream viewed 20,000 times, is what happened tonight. 20,000 views in under an hour. Also, Alex went on, as someone who owns 40% of your company, Robert, I'm worried about your judgment. Trying to take from your daughter, letting your wife hit her, this raises questions about your leadership. You can't. This is family business, Dad stammered. You made it my business when you made it public, Alex said. Emily, are you there? I'm here, I said clearly. Do you want to press charges for assault? The ballroom went silent again. Let me explain, Alex continued. The live stream shows clear assault and pressure. This triggers clause 15.3 of our shareholder agreement. Robert, the one about bad behavior and unfit leadership. What are you talking about? Dad's voice broke. Page 47 of the agreement you signed 5 years ago. I can call an emergency board meeting in 24 hours. I control 40% and the Jensen Trust, which has 15%, is very interested in this. To the math, I heard papers rustling. Alex was laying out documents on the head table. This is extortion, Mom screamed. No, Mrs. Carter, extortion was demanding your daughter's home in front of 200 people. This is handling consequences. Emily, Dad pleaded, tell him to stop. This is too much. Too much? I said calmly. Like slapping your daughter at a wedding wasn't too much? You can't destroy our family business. I'm not destroying anything, I said. I'm protecting my property and my dignity. Alex is protecting his investment. If your actions threaten that, that's on you. The video's everywhere, someone whispered in the background. It's on Twitter, Facebook. The local news has it. Here's what happens next, Alex said. Robert, you have 48 hours to make a public apology to Emily, a real one, not some fake statement. Acknowledge her work and her right to her property. Susan, you do the same and stay away from Emily forever. Or what? Mom demanded. Or I use my power as a major shareholder. Your company needs my money for your expansion. Without it, you're bankrupt in 6 months. This is my daughter's wedding, Mum cried, her voice wild. You can't do this here. You're right, Alex said smoothly. That's why I'm giving you 48 hours to fix this. Emily's penthouse stays hers, no questions, no pressure. Any attempt to guilt or force her will mean legal action. She's our daughter, Dad protested. Then act like it, Alex snapped, not like she's a bank or a tool for your favorite child. I heard Lily cry dramatically. This is supposed to be my special day. It still is, Alex said. I'm leaving now, but these papers stay with you, Robert. Read them, understand them, and remember Emily isn't alone. She has Carter Investments behind her. Emily? Lily's voice came through, shaking with tears. How could you do this to me? I didn't do anything to you, Lily. I just refused to give you my home. The public announcement, the pressure, the slap. That was Mom and Dad's choice. But the penthouse is mine. It's mine. Bought with my money. Earned through my work. If you want one, earn it. You're so mean. No, I'm just done being your family's doormat. I heard movement, chairs moving, people talking. Then Alex's voice closer to the phone. Emily, the papers are delivered. Your parents know their choices. It's up to them. Now. Thank you, Alex. I'm sorry it came to this. So am I. The photographer got everything, by the way. He sent us high-quality photos in case we need them for court. Dad groaned through the phone. 48 hours, Robert, Alex said one last time. Public apology, or I call the board. Emily, see you Monday. The call ended. I stood in my penthouse, looking at the city, finally able to breathe. My cheek still hurt, but a weight I didn't know I carried was gone. Within 2 hours, my phone was full of messages. The video had gone viral. Entitled parents demand daughter's $2 million penthouse at wedding was trending on 3 platforms. Lily called 15 times. I didn't answer. Mom texted, You've ruined everything. Your sister's wedding is destroyed. Guests are leaving. Are you happy? Dad's message was different. We need to talk, please. But the most interesting messages came from others. 3 of Dad's biggest clients saw the video. Robert, I'm worried about what I saw. We need to talk about our contract, wrote Jim Parker from Parker Industries. This behavior is troubling. My wife wants to rethink our partnership, said David Lee from Lee Electronics. I don't work with people who hit their kids. Contract ended, wrote Sarah Wilson from Wilson Logistics. That last one was a $3 million yearly contract. Gone. Tom's family chat, which I was added to months ago, was a mess. His mum, we're leaving. This is shameful. His dad, the wedding is off until we know what kind of family we're joining. The wedding was falling apart, and I wasn't even there. Alex texted privately. Your dad called. He's panicking about the clients. 3 more are concerned. Then the best message from someone who recorded it all. Your mum fainted when she realized the CEO of Carter Investments was your boss. Like, actually fainted. They called paramedics. I poured a glass of wine I'd saved for a special moment. If standing up for myself wasn't special, what was? My assistant texted, Boss, you're trending. Also, 5 job recruiters called, asking if you want new jobs. Standing up to bad family is super popular right now. I laughed, really laughed, for the first time in days. By Monday, the business world had picked sides, and it wasn't close. The video was shared in every major business group in the city. The story was clear. Successful daughter refuses to be bullied by entitled parents. CEO steps in to protect key employee. Dad's company lost 6 contracts total. The expansion he planned for 2 years was done. Without Alex's money and with clients leaving, he'd have to shrink his business. Lily's Bali honeymoon was cancelled, not by her, but by Tom's family. They wanted to rethink the relationship before moving forward. The wedding gifts were sent back, but the biggest surprise came from my company. Alex called me into his office Monday afternoon. "The board wants to promote you," he said. "Senior Vice President of Global Operations. Your Asia-Pacific success and how you handled this situation impressed them." I got slapped at a wedding. That impressed them? You stood strong under huge pressure. You protected company property. You stayed calm in a tough spot. That's the leadership we need. And calling me in shows you know when to use your resources. The promotion came with a 40% raise and stock options, enough to buy another penthouse if I wanted. But I didn't need another one. Mine was perfect, a symbol of everything I'd built without my family's help. I gave the raise bonus to a women's shelter helping people escape bad situations. It felt right. Dad's public apology came 47 hours after Alex's deadline. It was stiff, clearly written by lawyers, but it worked. I apologized to my daughter Emily for my wrong actions at the recent family event. I recognize her work achievements and her right to her property. This matter is closed. Mom refused to apologize. Instead, she posted online, calling me ungrateful, selfish, and ruined by work culture. Her post was shared thousands of times, usually with comments like, "This is where the problem started," or "Narcissist mom alert." Lily texted a week later, "You ruined my life." Tom's family wants counseling before the marriage. They think my family is toxic. "They're not wrong," I replied. "I hate you." I know. The extended family split. Some sided with my parents, saying family comes first. Others messaged privately, sharing their own stories of being the family scapegoat or bank. Cousin Jake wrote, "I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't know they treated you like that all the time." Aunt Linda, "Your mom's my sister, but she was wrong. I'm proud of you for standing up." The biggest surprise was from Tom. "I didn't know about the penthouse plan." I'd have stopped it. Lily needs to grow up, and maybe this is her wake-up call. "I'm sorry your mom hit you. That was assault." At least someone in that family had sense. I changed my penthouse locks the next day. Building security got a list of people banned from the property. My parents' names were first. The doorman, Mike, who'd known me for 3 years, pulled me aside. "Miss Carter, I saw the video." "Good for you. My daughter went through something like that. Family isn't always family. You know I knew." I blocked my immediate family on all social media. No big announcement, just a quiet removal from my life. My work became my focus. The promotion meant leading teams in 12 countries. I dove in, building something meaningful without family pressure. Alex became more than a boss. He was the mentor my dad never was. "The best revenge is living well without them," he said over coffee one morning. 3 months later, I got a text from an unknown number. A photo of Lily's wedding gift from me. A certificate for 6 months of family therapy. "This is insulting," the message said. "It's needed," I replied, then blocked the number. My penthouse became what it was meant to be. A safe place where no one could demand or belittle me. The huge windows looking over the city reminded me daily that I'd built something they couldn't take. Not that they didn't try. 6 months later, things had settled into a new normal. I was doing great. The senior VP role led to a feature in a big magazine's 40 under 40 list, focusing on my creative work in Asian markets, not the wedding drama. Dad's company survived, but wasn't the same. He looked older, and I heard through business contacts he started therapy. Too late, but something. Mom kept playing the victim, telling everyone about her ungrateful daughter, who chose money over family. Most people saw the video and knew better. Lily's marriage to Tom lasted 4 months. Counseling showed deeper issues: entitlement, not taking responsibility, expecting others to provide for her. Tom's family was right to worry. The divorce was quiet but final. She texted me once, "I hope you're happy." "You got what you wanted. I got what I earned," I replied. There's a difference. The team at Carter Investments became my real family. We celebrated wins, supported each other, and never asked me to give up my success for their comfort. Alex and his wife invited me to their family dinners. Their daughters, both in college, looked up to me. "You're proof we don't have to shrink for anyone," the older one said. That meant more than any approval from my birth family. Here's what I learned from that awful wedding. Blood doesn't make family. Respect does. Success isn't something you owe people who didn't support you. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can say to toxic family is nothing. My penthouse is still mine. Every morning, I watch the sun rise through those big windows, coffee in hand, thankful for the peace I fought for. It's not just a home, it's proof I chose myself when everyone expected me to choose them. If you're dealing with family who demand more than they give, who take credit for your wins, who expect you to hurt yourself to make them happy, know this: your limits matter. Your success is yours. Your peace is worth more than their approval. You don't owe anyone your hard-earned achievements just because you're related. You don't have to accept disrespect for family harmony. And you definitely don't have to tolerate abuse, whether it's a slap or years of being treated as less. The cost of my freedom was high. I lost my birth family, but what I gained was worth it: self-respect, real relationships, and a life on my terms. Your story might be different, but the truth stays the same. You deserve to be celebrated, not just tolerated. Choose people who choose you, not just when they need something, but always. What limits do you need to set today? Thanks for hearing my story. If you've ever had to choose between family approval and self-respect, you're not alone. Comment "Boundaries Matter" if you believe in protecting yourself from toxic family. Share this story with someone who needs to know it's okay to choose themselves. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories about setting healthy limits and building chosen families. Are you Team Emily for standing my ground, or do you think family always comes first? Let me know in the comments. Your peace is worth protecting.